Have you ever felt like you're working so hard, but getting nowhere? Like the whole world has a head start and you're stuck at the beginning? Well, let me tell you a story about a farmer who might just change how you see everything. Once upon a time, in a quiet village surrounded by golden fields, lived a farmer named Ramesh. Life wasn't easy for him. His clothes were torn, his little house was old and creaky, and his field, well, it was small, dry and stubborn. Every single day, he'd be out there from the moment the sun peeked over the horizon until it dipped back down. But his crops just wouldn't cooperate. They grew, but barely. The other farmers in the village, with their lush, green fields, often had a good laugh at his expense. They'd lean on their fences, smirking, and shout, "Hey, Ramesh, you'll always be poor. Just look at your land, it's completely useless." You'd think words like that would crush a person's spirit. But not Ramesh. He'd just look up from his work, a gentle smile on his face, and reply, "My land may be small, but my dreams are not." You see, Ramesh held a belief that the others couldn't grasp. He understood a fundamental truth. Poverty isn't about what's in your pocket. It's about what's in your mind. It's a way of thinking, a set of limits you place on yourself. And Ramesh refused to be limited. One warm evening, after another long day, Ramesh sat by his small, disappointing field. Instead of feeling sorry for himself, he looked up at the vast, star-filled sky. A thought sparked in his mind, a question that would change his life forever. He thought, if rich and successful people can find incredible opportunities in bustling cities, why can't I find an opportunity right here, on my own piece of earth? That simple question ignited a fire within him. The very next morning, he was out in his field, but this time, he wasn't just working it, he was studying it. He walked every inch of his land with a new kind of focus. He wasn't just seeing dirt, he was seeing potential. He noticed the subtle changes in the soil's color from one spot to another. He saw how the morning sun lingered on one particular area, warming it for longer. He observed how the rainwater naturally pooled in a small, neglected corner. It was like he was seeing his land for the first time. And with this new vision came a bold, crazy idea, an idea that no one else in the village would even dare to consider. He decided to stop trying to grow the same old traditional crops that were failing him. Instead, he would grow organic herbs. When word got out, the mockery started all over again. But this time it was louder. Herbs? They jeered, holding their stomachs as they laughed. "Ramesh, you think you're some big-shot businessman now? Who do you think you are?" The laughter echoed across the fields, but it didn't touch him. Ramesh just smiled that same calm smile and said, "A rich man's mind finds possibilities where others only see problems." Now, Ramesh didn't have money for fancy fertilizers or modern equipment. But that didn't stop him. He was thinking like a rich man, not in terms of money, but in terms of resourcefulness. No fertilizer? No problem. He learned to create his own rich, natural compost from kitchen scraps and fallen leaves. No fancy tools? He gathered scrap metal and wood and built his own, perfectly suited for the job. He worked alone, a solitary figure under the sun and the moon. His days were filled with hard labor, but his nights were filled with something more powerful. Hope. He watered his tiny, budding plants not just with water, but with the unwavering belief that he was creating something special. Months went by. The village continued on as usual, but on Ramesh's small patch of land, a quiet miracle was unfolding. The herbs began to grow, first as tiny green sprouts, then as lush, fragrant bushes. His field, once a symbol of failure, was now an oasis of vibrant green, its aroma drifting on the breeze. One afternoon, a wealthy merchant was passing through the village on his way to the city. He was tired and his horse needed rest. As he stopped, a beautiful, fresh scent caught his attention. He followed it, his curiosity piqued, and it led him straight to Ramesh's humble farm. His eyes widened in amazement. "My goodness!" the merchant exclaimed, kneeling to examine the plants. "These are incredible! The quality, the fragrance, these are high quality, premium herbs." He looked at Ramesh, who was standing quietly nearby. The merchant, a shrewd businessman, knew value when he saw it. He immediately offered Ramesh a deal not just for a few bundles, but to buy his entire harvest at a price that made Ramesh's heart skip a beat. That single sale was the turning point. It didn't just give him money, it gave him validation. The life of struggle Ramesh had known began to fade away. The villagers who had once mocked him fell silent. Then, one by one, they started coming to his farm, not to laugh, but to learn. They saw his success and wanted to understand his secret. Ramesh's small, once barren field became the most productive and famous piece of land in the entire region. It was a testament to his vision. One day, a young boy from the village, full of curiosity, came up to him and asked, "Uncle Ramesh, how did you become so rich?" Ramesh knelt down, a warm smile on his face, and put a hand on the boy's shoulder. "I didn't become rich because my land changed. My son," he said gently, "I became rich because my thoughts did." He continued, sharing the wisdom he had learned. When you think poor, you see only limits. You tell yourself, "I can't do this," or "I don't have that." You close your own doors. But when you think, rich not with greed, but with gratitude, creativity, and courage, you open doors that others can't. Even see, you find solutions instead of problems. From that day on, Ramesh wasn't just a farmer. He became a mentor. He dedicated himself to helping the other farmers in his village change their way of thinking. He taught them the organic techniques he had perfected, encouraged them to work together instead of competing, and slowly transformed the entire village into a thriving community of dreamers and doers. Years later, when people told his story, they would always say, Ramesh was never just a farmer, he was a thinker. He had proven to everyone, and most importantly to himself, that true wealth doesn't start in your wallet or in your field. It starts in your mind. So, the next time life feels difficult or unfair, the next time you feel stuck with what you have, I want you to remember Ramesh. Don't focus on what you lack. Don't stare at the dry soil. Instead, focus on what you can create with what you have. Ask yourself, where is the hidden opportunity here? Because, as Ramesh taught us, you are only as poor as your thoughts. A rich mind, a mind full of creativity and belief, can turn even the driest soil into a magnificent garden of success. What dry soil in your life are you ready to transform? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, please give this video a like and consider subscribing for more stories that inspire. See you in the next one.